Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence. Got another acrylic video for you, using loads of coloured acrylics that I've mixed myself. If you'd like to know how, check in the link in the cards, like the notation says, and that will take you to a video that I did on how I mix my acrylic colours myself, because that's what I do. I'm using my Neo high speed monomer to go with the Neo clear, and I also, whenever I mix my coloured acrylics, I mix them with Neo powders. That way I know that they're all Neo and I can use the Neo monomer and it's all fine, kind of thing. Anywho, so I'm also showing you the other bits and bobs. So I've got the glitters from Smileys, and that Vogue one's really pretty, that purple dot mix. And then I've got some of these butterflies that I'll be popping on the nails as well. So yeah, those are all the colours. Just, you know, springy kind of colours. Pink and blue and purple pastel. Yeah, it's all good. Anywho, so first thing is first. Obviously I have prepped the nails and applied tips. Now I am applying my thin clear base. I do not always include this in the videos, however, rest assured I always put on my thin clear base on the nail plate. Even though it's not a real hand, I still always do it because it's a matter of routine, and yeah, it's a matter of routine, and it's just good practice. You know, if you have set things that you do in a certain order, you know, it kind of becomes automatic, and then you're not going to forget to do a step, kind of thing. Anyway, so after I've applied my thin clear base, I'm using a very light pastel pink on the tip of the ring finger. I'm going to do an ombre. So I've faded back the pink first of all, applied that to the tip, but like I said, the very end. Then applied the purple just above it, then brought that down a little bit to sort of meld it into the pink, and then I added a little bit of pink, and then I added a little bit of purple, and I will just to and fro between the colours as necessary until I am happy with the ombre that I have gotten. And if I'm not, like I said, I will just to and fro between the colours, and yeah, until I've got that ombre as good as I can get it, basically. Teeny tiny beads just to get that blend really, you know, seamless, as it were. Whole point. I mean, I don't know, I do this all the time. I spend so much time on my ombres, and then I whack a load of glitter and stuff over the top of it, and you don't even get to see the ombres. I do it every time. Can't help myself. I get carried away with embellishments. I was not planning on putting this many embellishments on the nails, I'll tell you that now. No, that wasn't the plan. But once I got going, it seems I just can't stop. Once I start putting bits of glitter here, there and everywhere, I just keep on adding, and then the nails end up really busy. This was actually supposed to be a more simple set and less busy. Yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Oh wow, yeah, it didn't happen. So it's another busy set from me. Yeah, you guys are used to it by now. Anyway, so I'm using these are like little bits of paper cutouts. They're really cool. It's this, you know, the new thing, these little paper butterflies and flowers, and I mean, you can get all kinds of little bits and bobs, whatever you can think of. You get snowmen and Santa Claus and little bunnies and whatever you can think of, that they'll have it in these little mini paper cutout things. And they're just really cool. So I've added some of those on, and as you saw, I kind of bent them a little bit as before I applied them to the nail, so that they'd sit flush and flat on the nail, sort of bend around it, because obviously a nail is curved, it's not a flat surface, so if you give them a little bit of a bend, then they'll sit a bit nicer on the nail. And I just used the ferrule of my brush to hold it down whilst the acrylic was drying, and then I added some of those caviar beads. And now I will let that set up, because I used some clear to hold those caviar beads in place. So whilst that sets up, I'll move on to the middle finger, and at the tip I'm going to use the pink again, as you can see, and then ombreing that purple into it again, just like that. So if you fade it, because obviously the middle colour, you're going to have to fade it forwards as well as back, so yeah, you're kind of having to fade it in both directions, whereas obviously the top and the bottom colours, you're only fading it towards the middle. So yeah, the middle colour is always needing to be faded both ways, but it's not a big deal. So then at the cuticle area I added the blue, and I'm concentrating on my cuticle area first, and then I added just another tiny bead over the top to start my ombre off, and then another bead just below that cuticle bead, just below it, kind of thing, to bring it down, because I didn't want the blue to come too far down over the purple. But I did, obviously I'm trying to get an ombre, but yeah, I didn't want to overtake the purple too much with the blue, kind of thing. So once I'm happy with that ombre, I'm going to stick some of these little butterfly glitter things on. So applied a tiny amount of clear acrylic just then, and that will also hold those little butterflies in place. I'm just kind of giving them a swooshy pattern from cuticle to free edge in kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Just, yeah, adding some of the butterflies. So I've got some of the iridescent ones and some of those neon-y coloured ones as well. On to the index finger, and I'm doing a kind of, it's kind of a marble, but it's more of a splodgy marble kind of thing. I'm just doing literally tiny beads, just blobbing the colours on and letting them kind of at the edges blend in together, kind of thing. I just thought that would be a cute background to put the clouds on, so yeah, that's what I decided to do on the index finger. Just tiny beads, fairly wet, not too wet, but fairly wet, so that they can bleed into each other at the edges, so that there's no harsh line. They're just sort of merging and into each other, but no harsh line, as it were, kind of thing. Just, yeah. It's, why cannot I just can't think today. I can't get my words out. Yeah, I've had a few rough days of pain and stuff, and but yeah, morphine and medications are just making it really hard to focus at the moment. But I wanted to get my voiceover done so that I can schedule my video for Monday, so I don't have to worry about that then. Oh dear. But yeah, but I'm alright. I mean, this is normal for me, guys. So for those who don't know, I have a disability. I have pain in my body. It's an incurable illness. It is what it is. I've lived with it all my life. It's nothing new under the sun. So not to worry. I go through phases of I'm okay, but I'm not okay, and then I'm okay, and then I'm not okay. Mostly I'm not okay, but I'm okay. Do you know what I mean? You plod along as best you can, On the days I'm okay, I do the bits and bobs. On the days I'm not, I stay in bed. Simple as. And yeah, like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I've had to learn how to accept that I can't do something, instead of brooding and guilt tripping myself over it. Yeah, it's a hard thing to come to terms with, but I've kind of yeah, I've let it go a little bit more than I had in previous years. I beat myself up over not being able to do this, that and the other. I'm kind of letting it go a bit more these days because it's just stressing me out even more, which isn't helping, kind of thing. But anyway, enough of my woes. I'm fine, don't worry. This is me. This is my life. Yeah, like I said, I've known this all my life, been in pain all my life. It's nothing new. So anyway, so I added some of those butterflies on that little finger on top of the Vogue glitter that you saw me apply, those glitter dots, and then some of the butterflies on that sort of cloudy background index finger that I did. And now I will cap the nails. So quite a large bead of clear acrylic up by that cuticle area, bring that down the nail and add another bead underneath that, and then also bring that down, of course, because we need to encapsulate the nail. At this point I am thinking about the structure of the nails. I will be making sure my apex is in the right place, because when I added the colours on, as usual, I only use colours for colour. I never build my nails with coloured powders. I just think it's a waste of a colour powder, and I also think that the clear over the top just gives this glass effect that I really love. I just like it. And like I said, if you're not building the nail in your coloured powders, well then, of course they have to be strength powders for you to do that. But yeah, if they're strength powders, you can build the nail in it. But I prefer not to, because like I said, I like the clear over the top, gives it glass effect. But also, if you're not building the nail in your coloured powders, well then, you know, they're gonna last longer. So win-win. Clear is the cheapest and it's the strongest, so why not build your nail in the clear, save your coloured powders, they're gonna last a bit longer for you. Just saying. It's what I do, I've always done it, it is what it is. But it's personal preference. A lot of people just like to build that, if this is strength powder, they build their nails in the coloured powder, so that's perfectly fine. You know, do you, boo, do you, because everyone is different and everyone has their own preferences. So not a problem if you build your nails in your coloured powders and they are strength powders and that's the way you like it. But all power to you, you go right ahead. So I'll just carry on capping these nails, and like I said, I will make sure that they are structurally sound. Make sure you look at that nail from all different angles, not just the bird's eye view, because what you see on the bird's eye view is not what you're going to see if you look down the barrel of the nail or from the side. That's where you will notice any dips where you need more acrylic. So do check that nail from all different angles and make sure that it is properly structured right the way around. Another thing you can do is brush the nail over with your damp brush. Dampen your brush with a bit of monomer, not too much, don't oversaturate it. Brush that over the nail, then go in with your clear acrylic over the top of that. It just helps the acrylic to slide over a bit easier, and it also prevents any frosting. Sometimes you'll get a bit of powder, the clear powder that hasn't touched monomer, and it gives you this kind of crystallized frosted effect, and that can be annoying. So if you dampen the nail down first before you apply your clear bead, you're less likely to get that happening. It's just one of those little tips that is always handy to know. I don't always remember to do it, to be perfectly honest. Half the time I forget to dampen the nails down, but you know, so sometimes I do get a bit of frosted kind of crystallization looking happening, but yeah, it doesn't bother me that much unless it's a really noticeable, then it would pee me off. But most of the time it's not that bad, but to avoid it, you can avoid it by doing that. And now I will move on to the little finger and cap all of that beautiful glitter. Tuck that clear bead right behind that glitter to protect it. We don't want to file it away at the cuticle area, so make sure you tuck it in right behind the glitter. But try not, I mean, you're getting it really close to the cuticle area, but try not to touch. And if it does, get your brush in there and just get it off the skin. It's not made for skin, and if it is touching the skin, you're more likely to get lifting, which nobody wants because that causes all kinds of issues. So yeah, to avoid the lifting, try not to get any touching the skin as much as possible. And like I said, if it does happen, just use your brush and really wipe your brush on your kitchen roll first to get the liquid out, and then you can just use the very, very tip of your brush to just scoop around like I did when I was doing the cuticle area, to just edge it off the skin, and then that'll be fine. Once I have finished capping, we will go straight to me hand painting the cloud design, because I've not left the filing in this one. Yeah, just decided not to. No specific reason, just decided not to on this one. You see, I looked at the nails. I always give them one final look before I stop, and I look at all of the nails together, and then if I notice anything I will add. And those little caviar beads were sticking out a little bit at that cuticle area, so I've just added a smidge more acrylic just to cover them up. And checking the other nails, and these two look just a little bit low by the cuticle area as well, so again I'm adding the clear acrylic where I need it. Because I had to add more onto those caviar beads, it kind of built up the area higher than the other nails, so to even it out, to make sure the other nails look similar, I had to build up the other two to match, because what you don't want is one nail that's higher than the others, because that's just going to look off, and you don't want that. So whenever you're applying your acrylic, do pay attention to how high you're building it, because if you don't build all the nails as high as each other, then it's going to look weird. It just simply will. And if you want a uniform set that is cohesive and looks like a group of nails rather than each nail's individual and a different shape and size, you have to look at all of the nails together and make sure that they are similar, and that's how you get a nice even uniform set. I know I've said uniform a few times, but you know what I mean. It is what it is. So I'm just using some gel polish to do these clouds, and I wasn't happy with the way it was coming out, so as you saw, I just wiped it off with some rubbing alcohol and a lint-free wipe. It's not a problem, start again, because you know it's not going to dry until you cure it in the lamp. So if you make any errors, just wipe it off, it's fine, not a problem. You guys know I leave my errors in, because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect, we're all human, and we all have, little dodgy bits, and I don't see the point in not including them, because newbies need to know that even if you've got years of experience, you're still going to mess things up here and there, and it's not the end of the world. It's only nails, and you can redo it. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Don't get stressed about it. Just wipe it off and start again. And the other thing with gel is, look, I'm happy with that layer, so I'm going to flash cure it. And once I've flash cured it, even if I mess up this next layer and wipe it off, that first layer is not going anywhere because I flash cured it. It's awesome. Drawing with gel is awesome. This is a gel polish rather than a drawing gel, but because I wanted these clouds more faded out, I wasn't looking for a more opaque effect anyway. But I mean, it's quite opaque considering it's just a gel polish, really. If you look at it, it's fairly opaque on just that one layer. So yeah, but I'm just using rubbing alcohol and a little cheap brush just to fade out those lines that I made with the dotting tool, and it just gives the clouds that kind of fluffy effect, you know, floating through the sky. It does. It kind of gives it that fluffy effect. I love it. Anyway, and it's easy. And you guys know I can't draw for toffee, so I'm never going to do an intricate hard design that's you have to draw, because that's not happening. I am not the channel for that. I can do other things, but drawing is not my forte by any means. Anywho, so I cured those clouds, of course, and now it's time to top it off and keep it tough, our favourite part. And look at that, isn't that cute with those butterflies and leaves things and the glitter? Anyway, we're at the end of the video, so I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, spending some of your most precious time with me. I appreciate you. Thank you ever so much. If you've not subscribed, think about it, go ahead, click that subscribe button, join the Frosty fam. We are awesome. We would love to have you. And if you've enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, please click that like button. I would really, really appreciate it. And if you feel like it, you are more than welcome to leave me a comment. I'm happy to talk to you. That's all I've got for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.
See, bringing out the best in me, yeah. I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it, working out. Someday soon, I'm gonna make it, yeah. All hard work's gonna